And welcome back, everyone. So, the awkward conversation underneath the waters has come to an end. And the five of you, Rose has put her foot down and said we are leaving. And so the five of you swim your way back into the now utterly freezing cold water of the cold water lake. It is probably shocking to going from like the relative warmth that you had found here to the cold outside. As you make your way back to the shore, you notice that every Spriggan in the area is looking up, their reed-like heads cocked to the sky. Drawing your gaze up there, you see that some amount of time has passed underneath, and it is now night here on the very cold island. And staring up through the clouds, you could see a large red star that is new in the sky. None of you remember seeing a small red star like this in the sky over the last few months. And the Spriggans themselves are all just kind of looking at it.
All right, Quartz, you've demonstrated an affiliation for aura reading and astrology. What planet is in retrograde above us right now?
Yeah, can I make an Arcana check for that?
Sure, you can make an Arcana check.
All right, so that's at +4. With a 13.
With a 13. You are as a.
Oh. Greg, do we recover our level of exhaustion after that rest? Or?
Yes, I will give you your exhaustion back. You've spent a long time resting under there. Given your knowledge of omen reading and star signs and the vaguely arcane, you are familiar with abnormal stars appearing in certain constellations, and there is no doubt that this is a sign of woe. There is destruction or death or disease or some form of great tragedy coming. That you are pretty certain. Given the signs,
Something really bad is coming. We should move away and see if it still stays in the sky.
Something really bad is coming to these Spriggans. Should we not stay and try and help them?
Well, that's why I'm saying we should move. We don't know if it's localized or widespread. If the star is still in the sky when we get away from the lake, then that's a sign that it's probably going to be more than just here.
If the star is not in the sky elsewhere, I'd be very surprised.
It's complicated.
Not sure you understand how stars work.
Well,
I'm not sure if you do.
I mean, if you want to leave and I just lay myself across the rowboat, I'm ready.
The rowboat is about a mile back the other way through the reeds.
Mm-hmm.
I'll ask one of the Spriggan that's like staring at the sky. I'll be like, "Do you know anything about that weird red star?"
They tear their eyes away from it and look at you and say, "No, it was not there last night."
All right. Well, let's move along then. I was waiting for it to like tear its eyes away, and it's like its eyes be all red, be like.
Yeah. I tell them to prepare themselves because it's a sign that something dark and evil is coming.
I'll cast Mage Armor myself.
All right, you cast your mage armor. The bluish glow of your arcane energy surrounds you protectively. Okay, so you begin making your way back to your little rowboat.
Yeah.
All right.
Greg, you said that wizard wand you gave me, it can cast conjure.
It is not a wizard wand. It is specifically druidic magic. However, yes, it has conjure spells. So I didn't actually go back and redo my notes, but it conjures woodland creatures, it conjures elementals, and it conjures It has the ability to conjure any of them one time per day. Cast any of the conjuring spells, and charges are recharged by leaving the wand overnight in the light of the moon.
Any of the conjuring spells just in the player's
Yes.
handbook?
Yes, there's another one here.
Conjure animals?
Yes, so we have
There's 4 of them. 'cause also
conjure animals,
elementals.
conjure elementals, conjure fae, conjure minor elementals, and conjure woodland beings. As well as the conjure small woodland creatures. That is a racial ability.
Okay. When we get back to the boat, then I'm gonna cast conjure animals to try to conjure like a shark to pull our boat forward.
Alrighty. You swing the wand and speak a command word in Druidic, and the wand illuminates in a kind of like pale moonlit glow, and a small window almost like appears in the air around you, and through it a great shark jumps through along with many of its friends. And you are surrounded in the water by these sharks.
And then I'm gonna
You can
tie.
command them too, right? Not just conjure them.
I don't know. We'll find out. This is a learning experience. I'll try to command one of them to come toward come to the boat.
It swims up towards you.
Okay. I'm gonna command it to stay still.
It does so.
Okay. And then
And dies because it stops swimming.
Yeah, it stops swimming. And it
yeah,
is
stop swimming and dies.
problematic.
Okay. I'm gonna tie like a rope to one of them and see if it can drag our boat forward.
Okay. You're gonna tie a rope around a shark and around your boat.
Yes.
All right.
We can get across the water faster than an hour.
Sure, you do that, and tie one of the school of sharks to the boat and command it to swim you forward. This does increase your speed across the water. It does give me an excuse to roll potentially more encounters.
Yes.
No. So you speed your way across the lake. It still takes you some time. You've not like put a motorboat to the end of your ship, but the shark allows you to get back in maybe 3/4 the time it took you to get there. It's still deep in the night and cold. The slums around the village are clearly asleep as you pull your way into the docks. And the sounds from the city are muted and quiet. You only occasionally hear some small human noises, whether it's the opening or closing of doors deep in the city or some walking upon stony paths. It is mostly still and quiet out here. As you cross the pond, it is entirely silent until you
Are we
reach
going
the
in?
other
Wait, are
side.
we going into the city, or are we just going back to the teleport?
Well, either way, you have to cross the water, and this is what
Okay.
you experience as you cross the water in silence and then arrive on the other side.
Is the red star still in the sky?
Yes. Yes. It is cloudy here. In fact, hard to see most of the stars, but the red star shines through the clouds. You can still see its glow.
Well, if we return to Sarmanath, perhaps the Seekers will know something about this campaign ending red light in the sky.
Yeah, I do
Sure.
agree.
I've
I
never
think
been
we
to
should go back-
Sarmanath.
I do agree. We should go back to Sarmanath.
Why a monkey bread tree, though? We don't even have these trees here. I don't understand. What? Yeah, we can go back. That's fine.
So,
Are you doing okay, Rose?
I don't know. Is the spirit of death following me?
Well, yeah, but that's no reason to let it get you down.
As we pull away from the lake, we just start hearing screams and see fire.
Please no. You know, sometimes in life, you get a really nice present, and it's beautifully wrapped. You're really excited for it. And then you open it up, and it's just this pair of really old, scratchy socks that you never wanted in the first place. But that your granny always told you she would give you, but you had still hoped until the very last moment that you would get something entirely different that you always wished for. Do you understand that?
I didn't.
I think so.
I don't think I've ever seen you wear socks before, Rose.
Well, it's something Algernon told me about.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
You should,
Or-
though. Socks are great.
Is Algernon... Was he a dwarf, or was he just old?
No, he's a human.
Wasn't he young?
He's not old, he's just...
Am I just assuming he's old based on the name Algernon?
I think so. Yes.
Okay, alright.
Well, I mean, in human terms, I got some pretty scratchy socks today.
It did seem like there was a lot of lead up to this person looking for you, to not a lot of payoff. It didn't seem like she really needed to talk to you.
No,
To be fair, she wasn't looking for Rose.
she wasn't looking for me. I was looking for her.
Ah, okay.
Just like, in fairness to the dungeon master here, that's not what was happening.
No, you're perfectly fine. It's like,
I think we should go back to
I love
Sarmanath.
socks, Greg. Don't worry about it. Let's
Me
go to
too. Fuzzy
Sarmanath.
socks are good.
Actually, if you want to give me socks for Christmas, I'd be very happy about that. Just
Yeah, no,
saying.
I'm a big fan of socks.
Yeah, let's all ship Rose socks from our various locales.
All right, so you're heading back to Sarmanath via teleportation circle. This is the plan.
Sure.
Well, we could
As we
take
walk
a
to the
cart,
circle-
but
Hmm?
I was gonna say we
I
could
think
take a
our-
cart.
Oh,
It
do we
seems-
still have a cart, which is, I think, in Bale's.
Yeah, you definitely left your cart in Balesport. The Duke has acquired a new cart full of trinkets and things.
It seems very. These scrolls that let us teleport places, they're very useful. To just use them up on a whim seems somewhat irresponsible.
We could just walk.
Particularly the scroll of teleportation to Sarmanath. I imagine there may be a number of times where we need to get to Sarmanath with some haste.
Why don't we just take the
Algernon
road?
told us that he was captured. Thought we were trying to save him.
That is true. I suppose we may wish to return quickly.
We could just take the road.
We could. How many days travel? It's not that far, honestly, right?
I mean, I doubt that star's going anywhere.
So you're in Coldwater. You're gonna
Pretty
have to
far.
travel by Sarmanath. You can travel roughly 24 miles a day, right? So if you go in a straight line in perfect weather, perfect everything, it's 105 miles to Sarmanath. So, roughly 3 days. But if you follow the old road, you go through the hills, it's probably going to take longer than that.
It's up to you guys.
How many Sarmanath scrolls do we have to?
Correct.
Chandler, you're the professor. I trust you with your judgment. If you think it's worth using it, let's use it.
Algernon has been gone for a while. He said he was captured.
Yep.
It didn't. It sounded like they were holding him hostage or prisoner. So 4 days. I think we can ride to Sarmanath and then go from there. It's gonna take a while to travel to him. 4 days is the issue. Then hope for him is probably
Where's this
lost
Algernon
anyway.
guy?
Up north of Elvendar.
We get there 3 days after he's been sacrificed.
Why do we need to go to Sarmanath in the first place then? Couldn't we just go north into Elvendar?
I would believe it's difficult to travel across this mountain range.
Well, we
Not
could wrap
mountain
around.
range.
We could wrap around it.
I mean, yes, we could go to Hawkshaw and then travel all the way across the.
Wait, don't we have an elven city on one of the scrolls?
One of the skulls goes to Graves Keep, which you have not heard of before.
Right. But there
We
were
have-
also
That's the
other.
only one they don't
We
know
have
about.
a damaged scroll to the capital of Elwindar, but it's damaged.
Oh, okay. Well, we have to go to Sarmanath to take a boat up north, anyways, right?
Yeah, that was my thought. Is we were gonna take a boat, but I feel like we talked about the elves, or talked to someone about the elves, and they said that we shouldn't take a boat. Like the elves didn't like it when people came out through the river. I don't remember.
So for this teleportation, do you need to be at a circle to use it?
Yes, use it. The teleportation scrolls that we got are for allow less powerful magic users to use teleportation. They go
So you're a
from
less powerful magic user?
then some. Yes, I don't. I don't think I'm the most powerful magic user of all time. Yet.
Did you say yet?
Chandler has high aspirations.
I mean, he had a book with almost unlimited knowledge in it for a while.
Well, if you don't have a scroll to come back south from the north, then why don't we use the teleport before going north, since we wouldn't be able to teleport once we're there anyways? It's not like we need to save the scroll for anything.
That was my thought process.
Do we have 2 scrolls that'll let us teleport to Sarmanath?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, let's go.
I thought
As we're walking back to the circle,
after
I'm
you
like,
get me to
years with prestidigitation.
yeah, we can teleport now.
All
You guys
right.
convinced me to not teleport, and now we're going the other way.
The party
All right.
begins walking away from the teleportation circle, stops, realizes they want to teleport after all, walks back.
Exactly.
Janlar, you place in the correct coordinates and cast your teleportation circle. As you do so, a large chime sounds before the teleportation lights up. Consuming the scroll as always. Eventually, after the chime sounds, the circle lights and allows you to walk through it as normal.
And that chime didn't happen last time.
No.
Okay. Is the chime originating from the circle here? That
It sounds almost as if it came through the circle.
You think we've been announced?
I believe that might be an alarm of some kind. It's possible Sarmanath has magic protections to let them know that someone's coming through their circle. Someone
Like
was
a
there
doorbell.
last time I came through the gate.
Did it make a sound when you came through the gate?
No, I came through a magical gate though. But there was someone waiting.
Portals, and of course it's just
Are
gonna.
not magical gates, apparently. Yeah, you learn something
well,
every day.
I teleported through a magical gate into where their
Don't
teleportation circle
we
is.
have like a limited amount of time here?
Yes, we should be
just
going.
go through?
And then I go through.
Right,
Alright.
we go through
The
it.
5 of you make your way through and find yourself underneath the Great Tower of Sarmanath in a very familiar room that we've all seen before. The great teleportation circle along the ground. The door through the other side is open, and there are the 2 usual guards that you have seen before. As you step through, they give a look to you all, seeing Janlar and Rose returning. They kind of smile and nod, say, "Welcome home, Seekers, welcome home." And they watch as the newcomers come through and kind of look quizzically at them, back to you, give you a shrug. And once the teleportation circle closes, you see them place some new chalk runes upon the teleportation circle around the outside, as if resetting something. They kind of nod and open the door through into the basement of Sarmanath. It says, "I believe the Brand was expecting you some time ago. A few days late from Rayquan, it seems."
We've had a few detours.
He nods his head. Says, "Well, welcome."
Do these stairs go all the way to the roof?
Yes, it's a very long way to the roof, however. I also think that you might have to get permission from one of the Arcanum masters to actually go on the roof.
Wait, can't we take the elevator?
If you know Brand's personal code, yes. It takes him straight to his quarters.
Gorik,
Did I see the personal code last time I traveled with him on the elevator?
Yeah, no. Does Jandlar remember?
I want intelligence. I want intelligence saving throws from both of you.
I remember this part.
Oh yeah, you were with
The
him. I
awkward
didn't
music
know.
playing. Yep,
Yep,
I
we watched.
remember this.
Gorik just starts climbing the stairs.
All right. Intelligence saving throw,
Darn
please.
Yes, I'm on it. 1 second. Oh god. 4. There we go.
No.
It's an 11. I have no idea.
You don't remember. It has been too long. And so you trudge up the stairs. Sure enough,
I
after a
guess.
bit, you get out of the basement. You find yourself in the courtyard of the Seeker's Tower. There are various Seekers doing their daily business, training in the yard, some feasting at long tables. Actually, no, it's the middle of the night. You see no one doing any of that in the courtyard, as it is the middle of night. Most of the Seekers in the tower are locked in their rooms, or perhaps in a library or a study room.
I turn around to the Seeker that's training for the trial Umbra, who's started shadowing us as practice, and just go, try again next time, and then I turn around and keep walking again.
A very disappointed, little human, just like,
I'll say it.
walks their way back
I thought you
out.
did a great job. I didn't see you at all.
He looks at you like, don't patronize me. Keeps walking.
Gorik just shakes his head and goes, every time. They have to learn at some point that if they do the same thing every time, someone eventually will catch on. They have to vary their routines a bit.
That's why they're
Isn't
here,
that
though,
right?
in
He
training.
says as he looks up at the wall where someone else is like trying to shadow them from a different angle.
Right.
The lady that leads the trial Umbra is just sitting in the courtyard drinking some tea and smiles at Gorik just calling out her acolytes.
I think we need to go talk to Brant.
Yep.
All right, you
5,000
climb the-
stairs later.
You
Oh wait, we're
climb
in a
the
courtyard,
tower.
right?
Yes.
Is it open air?
Essentially, yeah. So the first floor of the tower is open, like it's an open gate out into a courtyard. As you climb from the basement, you basically are looking out into this courtyard, and then there's stairs up into the rest of the tower and the living spaces and other areas. of it.
Okay. If we can see the sky, is there a red star here? I don't need to go to the roof if I can see it from the courtyard.
Sure, Gorik, you walk out into the courtyard and look up, and sure enough, in a clear, uncloudy Sarmanath, you see a red star in the sky.
I nudge Quartz and point at the star. Looks like it's pretty widespread. You know,
That's
because it's
very
a
bad.
star in the sky.
It's an omen in the sky.
With that, you begin climbing the stairs up to Brand's office.
Before going back in, Quartz wrings out his hat to get all the water out of it, and then as he goes in, it starts visibly dampening again.
Nice, yeah. I like the idea that it's not like a constant drip either; it just like slowly wells up.
Yeah.
If you wring it out, it doesn't drip for like a couple of minutes until it gets
Yeah.
it saturates itself again. Yeah.
Yeah. And dripping your way up the stairs, you eventually arrive in Brand's office. You see that most of the tower is dark and quiet, but as you arrive at Brand's office, the flicker of candlelight greets you underneath the door. After a quick knock, it is opened, and the old dwarf, still with his hair tied back and beard nicely braided, greets you gruffly. Why won't you come on in? We'll have a talk about Raycorn. Didn't expect anyone to go down there in my lifetime. And he kind of shuffles back to his desk, where you see a large ledger of something that he was working in. And he kind of picks up and sets to the side. Clears a little space on his desk so he can put his feet up, his boots kind of clacking as they hit the wood, and leans back and looks at you all. So, what you find in Rayquan?
Great many things. We traveled to find Philosopher's Stone in order to cure the Duke. As, we acquired a quest from the quest board that said the Duke was sick. While traveling down there, we learned that the Tritons had been pushed out of their land by the Merrill, who were worshipping some god. I forget the name. Was it the Empty?
Empty.
The Empty, yeah, the Empty.
I haven't heard of the Empty. You think I'd have heard of it?
Was it Lionstalker that had?
Ah, yes, Lionstalker. I was talking with him. Well, your message! The Empty! Yes, Lionstalker told me all about it. That was a few days ago. Apparently it's old. You might want to talk with him.
When we had last spoke, you guys had been looking into the Silver Lord. Have you found anything?
Aye, a whole religion of it seems. It seems that for a long period of time, people have been recruiting for the Silver Lord. We found a few of these acolytes that had raided our city, put some screws in them, if it were, found some information. There's a society of people that blame their troubles on the world itself. They think that this Silver Lord may, I don't know, whisk them away to a magic place where everything is better. It seems that...
Quick fix to your problems.
You have a fix, huh?
No, I said it's a quick fix for their problems.
I agree. Apparently there's an old leader, shadowy, misty figure. But as far as we can tell, and as far as old Janlar tells me, same person, been around a long time. He disappeared some time ago, some small village somewhere, before resurfacing when you found him in a village whose name I've forgotten, in Willard's Mill.
Willard's Mill, yeah.
Yeah, aye. We don't know if it's the same reason or not, but apparently this one has ties to some other time. He's found a way to run his way through the history books. We're a little concerned that he may be trying to bring this figure from myth into our world. But that's where our knowledge stops. Turns out acolytes aren't the greatest fonts of information.
The magic spellbook I told you about, the one you allowed me to keep.
Aye. A mistake, that.
I agree. I believe that might have been how he was planning on getting said Silver Lord back.
Perhaps. A very powerful magic item, that. Even Janlar couldn't discover it, and she's as quick as they come when it comes to those magic arts.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that it had some very magical or very powerful magical protections on it.
Indeed. Well, it is lost to us now, right? And he kind of looks at you meaningfully.
Yes, it has been destroyed.
Aye, that's what we saw. Well,
have you been able to track us the whole time?
No. We've sent Meldarian with you. And I did notice he did not come back with you.
I looked, Rose. How did Meldarian die?
Rose is just staring into the nothingness and just thinking about how he got ripped, like, how he died on her horseback, and got ripped to shreds, pulled down onto the ground and just, bled out onto the ground. And she's like, I don't think I remember.
It seems he wasn't up to the...
Seems unfortunate ends tend to meet everyone around your group.
Yeah, as you say, Gorik,
I noticed
who
the
I
same
don't
thing.
think was there when Meldarian died, like leans over to Quartz and goes, "There are so many who have died they can't even remember the specifics."
Maybe it's worse than we thought.
It's
Wait.
pretty bad.
I have not heard anything from these Silver Lord fanatics in some time. Seems after they attacked the estate here, whatever it was they were looking for, they must have found or have given up on. I have heard little else since. Have you run into anything from them? Any strange, otherworldly Silver Lord machinations?
Did we hear about the key that got stolen from that house, or was that a Villith subquest that
yes.
died with Villith?
Oh, well, I didn't tell you it was a key, but there were things stolen at that auction.
Yeah, I think that's all we technically knew was that they stole something from the auction.
Aye.
I think Villith knew there was a key getting auctioned, but I don't think any of the rest of us did.
I say no. I've not heard of the Silver Lord on my travels. I
Then
was
perhaps he is
afraid.
thwarted after all.
I was afraid the acolyte would continue to chase me.
The Acolyte was awfully upset when
Book was destroyed.
when the book was destroyed and when they discovered that we had burned the heart of the stasis woman.
I remember you telling me that one. I don't know what his motivations are, but I do know he's still out there. If you can, tracking him down would be a great service. To the Seekers, of course, but also, I think, the world.
Do you know anything about the red star in the sky?
He shakes his head. No. He, pulls out the ledger that he was sifting through. I've been looking here for any mention of it in the history we have stored here about the stars. I've had more than a few astrologers in our time at this tower, but I've yet to find anything telling me about the star.
Our
As he
mystical little
starts,
yeah.
as he starts his response to that, Quartz is gonna feel at the medallion that he wears around his neck.
Uh-huh.
Not the periap that he was given by Rose, but the
Uh-huh.
other one that he put back on. And it starts to get warm in his fingers, and it casts off a detect thought spell.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And
And I focus it in on Brand as he starts
Uh-huh.
his answer. And I will essentially just automatically scrape any surface thoughts that come to his mind as he begins his response of saying, "No, I don't know anything about it."
and as
I want
he's
to see
doing
those
that,
surface thoughts match with his response.
Gorik will say, "Our mystical little friend here seems to think it is some kind of ill omen."
He nods his head along with you and says, I believe it is, potentially. I am not an omen reader myself, but it would not surprise me. Any change in the stars, these omen readers tell me, is great woe coming to Sarmanath. His thoughts kind of match up with what he's saying for the most part. You're getting a lot of charts popping up in his head that he's kind of thinking through. He's trying to place it himself almost as he talks, but you don't get to you don't sense any thoughts that differ greatly from what he's telling you about his knowledge of the star.
Okay. I guess I'm just going to shift it over to Rose then and just kind of scrape her surface thoughts while this conversation goes on.
Oh, well, Rose is just, she's just still glancing at the wall, and in her mind, she just still sees all the black ooze coming out of those barrels in that room that was just crowded with monsters where they were fighting for their lives, At some point, you just see Janla elevating up to the rooftop, telling her to run. It's like different flashbacks from that day. She's like,
The haste spell, failing.
Yeah, everybody losing haste at the wrong time.
exactly. That's
Oof.
a very mixed bag of feelings.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Seeing
Quartz,
Meldarian die, does she think of that again? Well, he's... Because that'd be funny. He said no.
I mean, it's surface thoughts, so it might just be coming together in broken fragments of the
Yep.
horror things that happen.
Little bit of anger, little bit of sadness, you know. Oh, and back to the anger again, and more sadness for a pretty
Did
long
Tom die
time.
there too? Is that when Tom died?
No, he died.
I died in the mansion after that.
Tom died
It was in
fighting
Balesport, but it was-
the Baroness.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the session after.
So, with that, Brand kind of looks to you and says, well, if you're not going to be seeking anything else in the meantime, perhaps you could go check out the...
One more thing.
Oh,
Sorry.
yes. All right.
Do you know where Algernon has gone to? You know Algernon?
Algernon seeks a formula, some kind of lost knowledge from before the breaking. He thinks he can cure a very sick friend with it. He seeks the Scrivener's Tower, a place of great knowledge, I've been told. Stories say that it sometimes exists in one plane and sometimes another. He seeks it, but I have not heard from him in some time.
He told me he was captured.
Aye, well, a disappointing end to his journey. Perhaps you could free him if you knew where to look.
Perhaps.
A disappointing end to his journey. Like, well, he's fucked.
Yeah. I mean, Brant probably sends people out on trips like this all the time and they don't come back.
You're not wrong. It is a seeker's way to find that which is lost. The Scrivener's Tower would be an amazing find. But, sadly, those who seek do not always return. And when they do, they are not always successful. So, seek the Scrivener's Tower if you will. If that is your calling, I will not get in your way. It would be an incredible find. You might look around the small villages north of Willard's Mill, between the Elvendar. The acolytes say their gathering, I suppose, started somewhere in there. You might be able to find where, if not this one Naja priest, we'll call him, of the Silver Lord, is hiding out. Perhaps you will find some clues to what he might do next.
Do you think the Scrivener's Tower and its vanishing act is in any way connected to the Vanishing City?
It could very well be. The story with the Vanishing City goes that there was a great wizard, or witch, warlock. The story changes every time, but she built the city to be a perfect conduit for her magics. That at any point in it, it was like a ley line directly to the arcane, and from it she could cast more powerful magics than the world had seen. It is even said that she challenged Kor to a duel there. It is also said that's where she lost, and why the city became vanishing. Permanently, anyway. She had the ability to cast a spell to make it disappear, so she could not be found. Legends all, but the legend also goes that there are powerful magical artifacts from a time long forgotten there. It has been the target of many a seeker. Many a seeker has come up with an empty hand, and yet somehow there's always Vanishing City black markets, like the one in Sarmanath here. Everyone always claims they have a key. It is like a get-rich scheme, in my opinion. Who knows? Some of them are claimed to be authentic. We capture what we can, bring it to Janlar for identification. She has identified a few artifacts as being from before the awakening, so perhaps there is some way in. Perhaps it is pure luck, or perhaps there are keys floating out there. No seeker has found it. The Scrivener's Tower is a different story altogether. A strange place, a gathering of knowledge, strange creatures from another realm. The story goes, the Scrivener's Tower transfers between different planes of existence. When you can find it and get in, you have access to all of the world's knowledge. But it is not always there. It is also apparently a dangerous place. But that is about all we know of it. Stories and legends. If it can be found, it would be a great addition to our knowledge.
And
Go ahead.
oh, sorry, no, go ahead.
No, keep going. If you
All
have
right,
any questions,
I was going to say, you know a lot of old legends, then. Master Brent.
It is my job after all. I am the head of the Seekers Guild.
Have you ever heard of a place called Gravekeep?
Graveskeep.
That's exactly what I was going to ask.
Yes, Graveskeep. I believe it is mentioned in the stories of the Awakening. Graveskeep was a castle, a fortress, if you will. Stood against the coming tide. Although, I don't remember where it was supposed to be. There is a battle of Graveskeep in the history. I believe it is where Kor was fought back for a period of time. As with most things, Kor ended up defeating the army at Graveskeep on his way here to Sarmanath. But I believe it lies to the north, and somewhere closer to where the elves now live.
Thank you.
I do what I can. The more knowledge my seekers have, the more likely they are to come back successful.
Do you have any questions for us about Raekwon?
Well, you've been pretty thorough with what you found there. Some kind of creature from the other side. Towers of madness that crawl to the ground. Triton, Merrill. Sounds like you brought back what you could. It's a shame that you lost as many of the scrolls as you have. Who knows where it might have led?
Indeed. Do you believe the scrolls can be copied?
Yeah, of course.
All right. I'm gonna take one of. Should I give them one of each scroll? I feel like we need to keep the Sarmanath one though.
We're not going to be able to teleport back from the north anyways, so you might as well.
Yeah, I guess I'll leave them all one of each scroll that we have, to allow them to start copying them. If they,
Excellent. I will get this to our master.
I'm assuming they don't have scrolls to do this, unless actually, do you guys have your own scrolls?
We have a few. I'll gladly pay you for these. Here. What do you think the value is? 100 gold pieces a scroll sound good to you? For, we'll call it a finder's fee. A finder's fee. It's a late night.
100 gold pieces, and you return. You allow me to get a copy of one of the, or the ones that we need.
We'll see what we can do.
We could use a way to travel back to Sarmanath quickly.
Fair enough. I'll get these copied. And he opens up a desk drawer that he was leaning on, counts out a few hundred gold, and trades it to you for one of all of the old scrolls, which he begins setting aside on his messy desk to get copied for later.
Okay.
Would it be okay if I requested access to Algernon's room?
Oh, I suppose so, yes. Haven't you already been in it?
Maybe he still has some, notes or some research that leads us to how he got to that Scrivener's tower. If he made it there, then there must be something.
Absolutely. Feel free. It's in the back of the library. I'm sure you remember the place.
What can you tell us about Elvendar?
What do you wish to know?
Is it safe to travel up the river?
The Moonflow. Safe. Define safe. There are fey creatures aplenty near the water, of course, and there are, the creatures of the Moonflow. But, yeah, no different than sailing down much else. There's always inherent dangers when you are outside of the cities these days, but It's no more dangerous than any other place as far as I can tell.
And would you suggest that's the easiest way to get toward Elvendar?
Yeah, up the Moonflow is a good start. Aye, you could travel across the Sea of Grass if you wished. Traveling up the Moonflow is quicker on average, although it is a slow river. Wide and deep, but slow moving.
Safe.
Do you think if we were to teleport to Graves Keep, that would get us closer than we are now?
Yes.
He nods his head. Ah, yes. Stories of Graveskeep say that it fell relatively early in the wars after the Awakening.
I'm nervous about it. Sorry, go ahead.
I imagine you could find yourself much closer to the Elvendar. We're not really sure exactly where the rifts opened. Some of the geography of that time is lost, we'll say. Made up. Might be even a better way of saying it. The scribes of that time took a lot of guessing.
The castle's actually been separated from the mainland mass. It's floating 6 miles in the sky.
Hey, see, I'm nervous the teleportation circle might be covered up or buried.
That could be a problem. Aye.
Why don't we just take a ship?
I agree. I think it's our best, safest traveling north via boat.
I support either one. I think eventually I'll send someone to Graveskeep. Would be interesting to see what we find.
Please let me know.
Campaign 2.
Feel free to go.
Uh,
You have another scroll there in your possession. You know the way down to the basement. You can go anytime you want. Look, it's not my job to tell you what to seek. If you want to go to Graveskeep, go do it. If you want to find the Scrivener's Tower, then do it. Otherwise, perhaps as a favour to me and the Seekers, since you're so involved with the Silver Lord, you could hunt down this guy. But your choice is yours. You don't have to listen to me. Well, you do have to listen to me, but you don't have to listen to me about where to go.
Is this Silverlord a bad guy?
I seem so. The
Terrible.
stories I hear of the realm of the Silver Lord were not encouraging. You could ask your friends here. They've been.
He's a terrible person. I don't know, a blight on this world. He's probably the evil that is coming.
I might be able to do something about him. Silver's really conductive, right?
I don't know if he's truly made of silver. I think he just.
I like where
Loved
this
it.
young lad's mind's at. You ever thought about being a Seeker?
No.
We have a trial for you, I'm sure. You just gotta survive it.
No, thank you.
Well, you think on it. There are some perks.
Like what?
Oh, well, the resources of the entire Seeker Tower. Perhaps even all of Sarmanath if you're lucky.
They'll let you
Also-
get the tattoo, and your parents don't even have to sign off on it if you're under 18.
Aye, this is true. Less of a tattoo, more of an arcane mark that allows you to do your job. It seems a lot of
No,
Seeker
thanks.
secrets make their way out around you guys. How did this one know? Doesn't matter. Look,
I didn't tell him.
train with these lots. If you want, you can always come back and take the trial. I am sure we have plenty that would like your spunk and vigor.
I'm pretty sure Goric knows about the Seeker marks. He just doesn't know how they get them or what they have to give up in order to.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think a lot of people know about the Seeker marks because some people have them exposed.
Yeah. But
Well, okay. We won't keep wasting your time then, Master Brand. I suppose we could go talk to Lionstalker about the empty, if you wanted to do that,
looking at the 2 Seekers that are in the group.
I might suggest you give Stalker a good night's rest. Well, The last maid to wake him up in the middle of the night was not a happy camper. He has a bit of a temper.
We'll just show up with the Bloody Mary.
Oh, you mean a drink? He'll appreciate that.
Well, I'm not too worried about it. Not as worried about the empty as I am the Silver Lord.
Fair enough.
I'm more worried about the collector's apparently amnesiac leaving of philosopher's stones across the world. Who knows how many he's created and forgotten about and just left laying about.
It is too bad
Incredibly.
you never found that one. Would have been a good addition to the Seekers.
Too bad.
I'll look at Jadla.
Anyways, do you want to go find a ship?
Well, where
do.
are we going?
North, the same.
Are we going
outcome.
north?
I don't think
Okay.
any of us know.
You have to go help your friend, right?
Or are we just
For a
gonna
second,
let
I
him
thought
die?
Jadla wanted to go slay the Silver Lord.
I do. I don't believe I'll be able to live peacefully in Sarmanath until the Silver Lord is dead.
Tom had more influence on you than I thought that he did.
I don't know if it was Tom or the Acolyte. The way the Acolyte looked at me after we destroyed the book.
I mean, all I can tell is I don't really know what's going on, and usually knowledge is packed in books. So if I want to know something, I go to the library. If this library isn't, doing its job, then maybe the Scrivener's Tower is a way to acquire.
I suppose we could send another message to Algernon and see if he knows where he is.
Well, his message was super short. I'm not sure. Let's just check his room first. See if we find any clues.
I'll be right back.
All right. So, you leave Brand's office. Are you going to go to the library and toss Algernon's room in the middle of the night?
I mean, yeah.
Okay. So you make your way
quietly,
to the...
obviously. We're going to make our way quietly through the library. And
You
then
make your
start
way
tossing.
down through the library. There are a few seekers that seem to keep Nighthawk hours. They're clustered in little cubbies with a flickering candle over some old
Nice.
tome.
I'll do a casual shh when two of them whisper as we walk past.
They look at you as you do that and then go back to studying. You eventually make your way back to Algernon's room. You know your way there. He was your buddy. And you find the head librarian to give you a key. Well, the librarian in his absence to give you a key. And you open it up to find a very cluttered and disorganized mess, as normal, with notes and papers scattered about his desk and an unkempt and unmade bed, along with his kind of scattered remains of travels here and there along the walls, including a nice big frame, dried out plant from the Gloomwood, and big fern that he had found and taken quite a liking to.
Right. I'll say, so usually he sorts things by categories. I don't know what he sorted his notes by. It can be color or scent or, common words that pop up or language, or it could be anything. But this is sorted, so please try not to mix it up. And I'll try to find, I'll very carefully have a look at his notes, and I'll keep them exactly where they are, right? And then try to figure out if there's any way I can find out what he
Alright.
thought about this Scrivener's Tower.
You begin searching through his belongings, looking for notes about the Scrivener's Tower. Eventually, you do find what appear to be hasty scribblings of a large, formula, with complex notes and scientific kind of notations and annotations written in his crunched hand next to old old flowing text from an ancient tome. You begin leafing through journals and you see more and more references to it. It reminds you a great deal of the types of annotations and work done in the book that Janlar holds. This seems that whatever formula he was working on is of some importance to alchemy. And he has been dutifully trying to find a way to make something, though it's not immediately apparent what. You find in his journal references to his very, very sick sister, who he is trying to cure, but has been unable to do so through any magical healing at the tower when he became a seeker. And has been unable to find a cleric who could do it, and has turned to, it seems, this alchemical formula seems to promise the cure. And he has large and scrunched notes throughout the desk that he is working on. He begins referencing locations somewhere through the journal, places to look for knowledge, to find what he might be missing. Among them, you see that the Gloomwood is checked off, alongside the deep forest of Elvendar and some other just generic locations around the Thoan Midlands. It seems that he has scratched through most of them. He has in a kind of separate column circled the Scrivener's Tower with like a question mark, and seems to draw a line to a familiar name known as the Collector. He finds a bunch of notes that he has gathered from his travels, and it seems that he had found reasonable assurance that the Collector would have been in some small city south of Nestor, as he went off hoping to meet the Collector and find the path to the Scrivener's Tower, or hopefully that the Collector might know the way there.
Right, and they had met and they had talked. That's what we figured out.
I think the Collector is the big bad of the whole campaign.
You guys. Well, anyways, they had talked because the Collector remembered Algernon and that he was looking for the tower. And the Collector said that the tower is on the far side of the Elvendar fire? Does that make sense? Does it say spire?
Yes, a spire of stone that rises out of the kind of rocky ground beyond the Elvendar.
Well,
Sounds like
I guess
we need to ship.
the tower's somewhere over there.
The river cuts straight through the Elvendar. We could get all the way north just taking a ship.
Yeah.
Well,
I
let's hope Algernon made it all the way there.
I like Gorik's idea. I think we should send him a message and see if he knows who he's been captured by.
Well, you can certainly try.
Or if he has any idea if he's safe or in imminent peril.
Or still alive.
Is time
Well,
of the
he's-
essence, or...
Sure, I mean, go ahead.
Okay. Then I'll send a message to Algernon.
All right. Go ahead and roll me a D100. Alrighty. So your message goes off, and once again, it takes a long period of time. You ask, "Where are you, Algernon?" And Algernon simply replies, "The tower, the Scrivener's Tower."
Well, I ask him, where are you and how do you get there?
North.
Okay. Yeah, I'll tell him he says he's at the Scrivener's Tower and it's north as we expect.
Will we buy some rations?
Yeah.
All right. Rose, you quickly realize that it is well past midnight. into the early morning, and there is no
Yep.
shop open at this time to buy your rations.
Yep. I guess we can have a nap. It's been a long day.
All right. You go to bed in the Tower of Sarmanath, having had a very long day of travel across the world via teleportation. As you sleep, who here has met Tom? Goric has met Tom. Dan has
Tom.
met Tom.
Everyone
Tom
except me.
Rose has met Tom. Hugh has not met Tom.
He was met Tom because we met him before we
Did
attacked.
you meet Tom? Hugh met Tom. Okay.
Yeah,
So
everyone except for
only-
Quartz.
Only Quartz has not met Tom. All of you receive a dream as you are asleep that night. You see a woman encircled by a flaming sphere, and she seems to be asking for help. And you kind of feel, all of you, the presence of your old friend in the dream. And as the sphere extinguishes and she disappears, Tom says, you hear a voice in your head, much less than like Tom speaking. It doesn't appear, but you feel the presence. And it says, the Silver Lord has attacked my faith. Please, you must stop him.
Do I not get the stream?
You do not.
Okay.
You do not have any connection for Tom and his spirit. And you dream normally other than that, but it sticks with you through the early morning when you all wake. As you do, and you check the sky above you, it seems that the red star that night still is high in the sky, bright enough, though very dim in the morning sun. It can still be seen during the day.
Well, then when we meet in the morning, Chandler will definitely look very disturbed by this dream. Hearing from Tom probably moves him a lot. But I'll tell people about my dream I had, saying that, telling us to try to stop the Silver Lord.
Weren't we going to do that anyways?
Yes, but magical dreams are very profound.
Oh. So, how do we stop him?
I don't know.
Where do we go to stop him?
It sounded like around Willard's Mill.
How much money do we have as a party?
You should
I have
have
a
a
lot.
lot of money.
We have a lot of gold.
Do we?
I have 5 gold pieces.
Well, it's hard to tell. I'm pretty sure that has quite a bit
All right.
since
I'll.
sold the pearl and all that stuff.
Have you not been tracking the gold I've been giving you?
I've only got 64 on my character sheet.
Most of
Yeah,
the gold
you
has
missed
been
a bunch
on.
of sessions.
You
so-
missed last session.
You
Yeah.
gained 1,000 silver and 500 gold last session.
Okay. Each of us did, or
That was how I divvied it up across 5.
Yeah.
okay. So that's like 600 gold, right?
Jagar took his share and went drinking really heavily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was 1,000 silver and 500 what?
1,000 silver and 500 gold was what everybody got for their share last session.
1,000 silver is 100 gold,
Yeah.
or 10 platinum.
I didn't hear the 500 gold. I only heard the 1,000 silver.
I think the gold was from the Baron and the silver was from something else. I don't remember. I think
I
maybe
spent
the
all my
gold,
silver though.
because you got paid by the collector and you got paid by the Baron, and
Yeah.
they were 2 separate coinages, and I don't remember which was which.
The
Anyway.
collector had the chest of gold.
Okay.
And then how many scrolls did we sell him then, Greg?
You sold one for each city on the map.
Okay. So is that
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
perfect?
Yes, that is correct.
Excellent.
Is it 8 plus Graveskeep, or
Is that
8
100
plus-
gold or
8
100
plus
gold? each?
Graveskeep, yeah. Assuming you gave that over. 100 gold each.
Perfect. 900. Yeah, I would give him Gravesport as well.
So Gorik is gonna go find Lionstalker.
All right. You find Lionstalker in his ceremonial robe, getting ready to attend to a sermon at the morning's river mouth. Or I guess at the lake, but yeah.
Master Lionstalker.
Ah! Gorik, welcome.
There is something that I need from the Seekers, although I am not a Seeker myself. Magic that is beyond my usual power.
Oh, and what can I do for you?
I need to cast the Commune spell. I am concerned about the attitudes of my High Lore Keeper regarding a certain individual that we have met, and I need to see if my god's interests align with the Lore Keeper's stated purposes.
Chandler would go with them and tell him that we need this in order to help defeat the Silver Lord.
You ask for a very powerful spell. It is not outside of my ability to commune. However, it is a power gifted to me by the mighty Feym.
Should you be able to create a scroll, I would be willing to purchase it from you. Or perhaps there are reserves here at this tower?
I am uncertain. I am no wizard. I do not craft my magic into paper. It is granted to me by the power of Feym. I fear that I would not be able to commune with your god. I could attempt to transcribe something for you, but it seems like a personal matter between you and your deity. I do not know if I can do what you ask, even though I be willing.
Maybe you need to find a holy site.
You talking to me?
Yeah.
Well, I can't cast 5th level spells until I'm like level 9, I think. So,
Would you not have an easier chance communing if you were to go to a holy site?
perhaps. I mean, the God of Death you can pretty much get a connection at any graveyard, really. Unless we want to go back to like the Amber Hall or something like that, but
The ability to commune with your god is more than just some magic spell. I am certain, should you hold a high enough conviction, perhaps they would listen to you, provide some sign. It is not unusual to seek and be granted guidance from the gods.
well. What did you think about the empty?
The empty. It is something that comes from beyond. I have heard stories of minds taken to madness, devoured into the empty. I was once not a seeker, but a young man of my tribe high in the mountains. There are those who worship horses beyond the gods and this realm.
I thought you said there are those who worship horses. I was going to be like,
there
oh,
are
sure,
also
yeah.
those who worship horses. They are a silly bunch. Yes, I believe they reside in a far-flung place called Camelot. Anyhow, the minds of a tribe taken by the empty go rotten. There are stories of Goliaths that worship from stone altars that grow from the ground. They have been destroyed long before my time. But you can see the places where they once stood. It is not a god as far as I know it, but a force that consumes, desires more life, energy, something to consume. It fills itself. That's why we call it the empty.
In Rayquan, where we were, a number of obelisks had appeared, and when touched, they put the toucher in. I don't know what the word for that would be besides toucher.
I agree. I believe it is a toucher as well.
Yeah, they put the toucher
A
in
wide
contact.
and expansive vocabulary has not been Lion Stalker's strong suit.
They put the user in contact with the empty's consciousness. This tended to subvert the consciousness of the individual. It is how the Merrill became the fanatical cultists that they are. We attempted to use our magical Sambar friends. You know about what happened to Sambar, don't you?
I have been told. An unfortunate end for that young one.
We
I had
attempted
high
to use the potent magical power of Sambar to destroy the obelisk, but when we did, Jagar became withdrawn and he separated himself from us somewhere in Balesport. He was never quite the same. None of my magics could restore whatever change had come over him. Also, I think Sambar may have been affected as well. He's been a bit more nihilistic ever since.
I wonder, do you believe he could be cured by the removal of a curse, or by a greater restoration than I believe you can muster?
I attempted to lift a curse, and there was no reaction. My my restorative abilities are only of the lesser variety. Perhaps if you could find Jagar or summon him here, there may be something you could do for him if that would...
Perhaps, yes. The Goliaths who have been
You
under...
could test it on Sambar, I suppose.
Ah, that is interesting. I would like to touch it, or I would like to test it, yes.
I'm sure he would love to talk to you. He
There are
loves talking to everyone.
There are stories of Goliaths taken by the empty, who could have been restored. Perhaps this greater restorative magic granted to me by the almighty Phaeum will allow it. He kind of gestures for you to place Sambar down on the altar in front of him.
Oh, hang on. We have to go get Rose. I don't think she's here with us, and she's the one that carries Sambar.
Find him, bring him to me. I will test this before our sermon begins.
All right. So we walk away to go find Rose. On the way, I ask Janlar, if I am able to cast the commune spell, I can ask Ungral 3 questions. They must be answerable in yeses or nos. I wish to ask Ungral whether we should move against the Collector's unnatural life. I can also ask if seeking out Algernon at the Scrivener's Tower would be useful to us in stopping the Silver Lord, but is there anything else you wish to ask a god?
I feel like if we're gonna ask the god, I don't know if Algernon's situation is worthy of the god, unfortunately.
Algernon gave us our strongest lead into the Silver Lord, and I believe his seeking of the Scrivener's Tower was somehow related to that quest.
It sounded like he was just looking for a cure for his sister.
Is that all it was?
Does the Scrivener's Tower have lots of lost knowledge?
It does.
Maybe you would have something on the Silver Lord.
Perhaps.
It might. But yeah, I would ask a question about the Silver Lord, the Empty, and the Collector.
Ask if he's conductive to electricity.
I suppose I could ask that question, and it's answerable in yes or no, but my intent with my question was that would recovering Algernon assist us against the Silver Lord, or would it be simply a humanitarian mission?
Yeah, that's not. I mean,
how many questions can you ask?
I can only ask 3. I have 2 planned out already.
At which point,
Okay.
you find Rose. What are you doing
Yep.
when they find you?
Well, I guess you knock and nothing happens, and then you open the door and Rose is on her bed, like entirely tuckered out because she's had a terrible dream last night.
Gorick will and just kind of pick up Sambar, look at Ray, and be like, Ray, is there anything that you want to ask a god?
Oh. Can I get bigger?
I'll take that under consideration.
Okay.
I suspect the answer is yes, though. And I pat him on the head, and I leave. Hello, Sambar.
Oh, hello. Wow. You have nice hands.
Nice hands.
I look at my like calloused and withered old dwarf hands from years of manual labor, and I'm like, Sambar, I really think that you need to get out more.
I do. You
Just
should
keep
tell Rose
walking.
that. Definitely. Oh. I mean, it really doesn't matter at all, but I do think I should get out more. But, you know, in the end, what does it mean? So, what's new with you? I haven't talked to you in a long time.
No, it's been a while since we were here.
Right. I mean, not that it matters, but what's up? What's up?
I like how like directly oppositional to everything that Sambar is about the nothing matters thing is. So he's like, I'm Sambar. I have all the questions. And then I kind of realized that none of the questions matter, but I have to ask them because I wouldn't be in character if I wasn't. Well, there's a star in the sky now that didn't used to be there, that our new little crystal-faced friend thinks is...
You know, I
an
can't see
omen.
the stars anymore. Kind of
No?
downside. I think they're too far away or something. Not that it really matters, but I think that my vision only goes so far.
I suspect that is probably true.
Oh well.
Sambar, if we could restore you to your body, would you wish that to happen?
Yes. I told Dan that, or Janlar that, just the
Told
other day.
Dan that.
I did, yeah. I have a
Who's
new
Dan?
friend called Dan. He lives in my head now. Not that you care or it matters any, but...
I don't suspect that Lionstalker could restore you to your form. I think that would be the sort of thing that only the most powerful of spellcasters could achieve. But
only the actual god.
yeah, I'm imagining that doing that would probably take a wish spell.
It would take something pretty epic, yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of based on how that whole thing went down and the permanency and everything. I'm like, I think the only thing that would actually restore Sambar would be like wish. Maybe reincarnate if you like destroyed the mace and then reincarnated his soul, but that might do it.
It'd be interesting if you wanted to try.
Yeah.
You do know where a particular like pit is.
Yeah.
there's a pool down there that actually you destroyed that. Never mind, it doesn't work anymore.
Well, the pool's still there. It's just not magic now.
Yeah, it's not magic. That's right.
Yeah.
Now there's just water.
All right. Anyway, we get. I figure we should probably try and decide what we're doing before we wrap up for today.
I figured we would cast some greater restoration on Sandbar and call
Okay.
it there. That was where I was
Okay.
heading.
All right. I thought you, as a DM, might like to know what the plan for next week was.
I
We could
mean,
at least pick a course of action at the end of this, and then next week be like, all right, this is where
My
we're
general
going.
belief is that even if you pick a course of action, we'll spend an hour going, so?
Yeah.
Because that's just what happens with this group. That's okay, though. You place Sandbar on the altar, and greater restoration is cast. And I don't know if you can tell, but the madness that gripped him has been removed.
Okay.
He's restored to his previous mental capacity.
Which isn't that different, to be
It
honest.
really wasn't a huge change to Sandbar.
He just stopped saying it. It really doesn't matter.
yeah.
It's the only difference.
Yeah. If you would like to pick a course of action, that would be great. Otherwise, we'll find out what your course of action is in like hour 2 of next week.
Yeah.
Are we going to take the ship to, or you were going to commune with your god, right?
If I can acquire the means of doing so, yeah. It's a 5th level spell, and I won't, like I said, I won't be able to cast 5th level spells until like level 9. And I don't even know
Okay.
if this campaign will stretch that far.
So, like...
If I got a scroll, I could do it, but I'd need to know somewhere where I could get a scroll. That's why I thought maybe Lionstalker would have one, because he's probably one of the most powerful divine spellcasters, at least in Sarmanath, at the very least, and most likely, sort of.
He's
anywhere
probably
on this.
either him or the High Keeper are probably the 2 strongest divine spellcasters you've met.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could have put them to the test at any point.
Yeah.
But they would rank right up there.
Yeah, I was gonna say fifth level spells are pretty potent spell casting.
I never decided on a level for your High Keeper, but I can tell you what level Lionstalker is. Maybe. I think you guys should, at some point, attune with your Philosopher's Stone.
I didn't know it was an attunable. Oh, I wasn't here last week. I didn't know.
I don't know if I told you, but I thought I told you this last time. But Chandler is reading the alchemical book when we're like in downtime.
Oh, okay. At some point, you should. Okay.
My plan was to read that for a little while, so I learn a little more about the stone, and then.
I mean, the real interesting question is who has the stone, right?
I think Goric.
We gave it to
does.
Goric.
Yeah.
Gork has it.
Lionstalker is, according to my notes, he's gonna be one of the stronger people here. Brand is level 16. Lionstalker is actually
Bryce.
Lionstalker is only actually level 12.
Still pretty beefy.
But he is 7'7", so I think that makes up for some of it.
Yeah.
He's probably one of the lower level.
The casters are actually pretty lower level. The martial guys are a little bit higher.
That makes sense. I guess they're harder.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Cool.
Alrighty, so what is your... Yeah, why don't we decide on that so we can actually get something done next session? Not that nothing was done this session, but it was very slow. Maybe we'll be able to move up the pace a little bit more. What's the plan? Would you guys like to go to the Scrivener's Tower? Would you like to go to the... my brain is completely losing. Graves Keep? Or would you like to try to find the small village where this Silver Lord cult has started?
I feel like Graveskeep's a little dangerous because we have no idea what we're getting into there.
Chandler would say we probably should go and try to deal with the Silver Lord, but if Rose wants to go save Algernon, then Chandler will help her
Okay.
do that.
So it
first.
sounds like you guys are going to the
I mean, I'm down
Scrivener's
for
Tower.
either. Maybe.
Well,
Actually, no. I'm gonna vote for the Silver Lord. Do what we
Okay.
can to stop the Silver Lord.
I do want to look up Commune. It's only a 5th level spell, huh?
Yeah, it's a 5th level ritual spell. You contact your deity or divine proxy and ask up to 3 questions that can be answered with a yes or no. You must ask your questions before the spell ends. It's 1 minute long. You receive a correct answer for each question. Divine beings are not necessarily omniscient. You may receive unclear as an answer if the question pertains to information that lies beyond the deity's knowledge. In a case where a one-word answer could be misleading or contrary to the deity's interests, the DM can offer a short phrase as an answer instead. And then very similar to Augury, if you cast it 2 or more times before finishing your next long rest, there's a cumulative 25% chance for each casting that the spell fails. But basically, it's 3 yes or no questions that I get to ask, and my god answers them with a yes or a no, truthfully.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, I just wanted to do it to ask Ungral, like, do I need to deal with the Collector? Because I feel like this is a pretty serious breach of the God of Death's tenets, and my priest is totally like, it's not a big deal.
So here are the things the Philosopher's Stone can do. You can expend charges on the Philosopher's Stone to, as a very high caster level, cast Agonzar's Scorcher, Animate Objects, Continual Flame, Creation, Cure Wounds, Fabricate, Firestorm, Greater Restoration, Fireball, Heal, Move Earth, Regenerate, some Malacrum, Stone Shape, Transmute, True Resurrection, and True Seeing. It has the property non-equivalent change. You can expend charges when you cast a spell that requires material components. You may ignore that requirement because you have the Philosopher's Stone. So it bypasses the need for any and all components, whether they have a gold value or not. You have the ability to regenerate body parts, and you can animate objects through transmutation. Otherwise, that's it. The rest of the things you can do are just like things to charge up the remaining Philosopher's Stone charges. It doesn't actually make you immortal.
It doesn't confer immortal life.
Right. And so, like, eventually, I guess, as Janlar gets through that book, you're going to probably learn that. But, I mean, it wasn't my intention that the Philosopher's Stone actually was, like, something that made you immortal forever. The Collector is supposed to be kind of a oddity in that he seems to be just forever really old and powerful. But not like, oh, he has a Philosopher's Stone. Though, if you want to, like, go down that path, I guess we can fight the Collector. He was supposed to just be really helpful.
Yeah, I would not.
NPC.
I don't vote for fighting the
Like, I wasn't really
Do you
prepared
want
for
to kill
you.
the guy who has the magic shop?
I wasn't really prepared for you to, like, be super suspicious of the Collector, which is why when you sent the message, I was like, he's great. We love him. Because I was like, let's do things that Greg prepared for, not assault the, like, super helpful NPC.
The demigod, basically.
Yeah.
Let's kill Yoda.
Essentially, right? Yeah, he's Yoda. That's the idea behind.
We're 900 years old. You are.
The Collector's so cool. Yeah, no, I don't think we should kill him.
Yeah.
Janlar doesn't want to kill him. Janlar just doesn't like that he stole our thunder.
Goric doesn't trust him because unless there's more to him than appears on the surface, he's cheating death.
That's fair. That's totally fair. So, like, I guess the answers for you just kind of meta game. Yeah, like, your god probably doesn't love him, but he's not. I don't know. I don't think your god is like, we need to go take this guy down because he's cheating death.
Okay.
I think it's more of like this guy for whatever reason has an unnatural, like he looks human but maybe he's not. There's just something unnatural going on there. I don't want to like undercut your character, but I just am like really unprepared to go in that direction unless that's something you really want to do. Yeah.
So Sean and Dan both vote Silverlord. Faye votes Algernon. I think Gorick thinks that Gorick hasn't met Algernon, but I know that Algernon's the one that gave us the book about the Silverlord, and it seems like he's helpful. So Gorick kind of thinks if we're going to do something about the Silverlord, recovering Algernon first might be to our advantage.
Yeah, then we'll go to Algernon first.
All right.
Then there's very easily switch.
So, start of next session, we will have you think of any downtime activities you want to do in Sarmanath. We can get them out of the way at the beginning, and then we'll have you take a boat down the Moonflow towards Sarmanath. Towards the Scrivener's Tower past Elvendar. Yeah?
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
Awesome. Alrighty. Well, we have arrived at 4 o'clock. Thank you guys all for playing with me. I hope you had a good time. I know we didn't get to roll a lot of dice today. Just didn't quite go that direction.
No, that's true. I think there were only like 3 die rolls this
Yeah,
session.
it was mostly just a check to see if sending actually could make it to a
That
different
was a little
dimension.
bit more, actually. But
Yeah.
I made like an Arcana check, and we had a few sending checks. That was about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. So I don't know. Well, I'll try to get you some more dice in the future. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will see you all next week. Yes.
should.
Awesome. Good. And we will play then. To the viewers, thank you for sticking with us. Have a good rest of your day, night, or week, or whatever it is. Till I see you all again. We'll catch y'all next time. Peace, everybody.